Okay guys, this video is about the second video, number 2, for my Kettering Ignition 2018 fix. This is the original diagram signed down here by Kettering, witnessed by guy over here, witness. This is the original diagram for the Kettering Ignition system on July 23, year 2008, ignition system. And here it says high tension. As you can see, this is the original diagram designed by Kettering, which was never followed unless you were a cop car or you worked for the Army or the Air Force. Hoi polloi. There's one wire into the coil here, one wire out, and there's two wires out on the other side. So it's a 4-post coil that was never made for the common people. Okay. This is a 4-post coil. There's one in, one out, and a high tension spark goes through there and down to ground. Down to the bottom there to ground. Whether this ground is to the body of the barrel or actually goes up to a third post on the outside, that's how either way they can do it. But that's what's the A model made for cop cars. Looks like that. This is an original patent from the year 1926. 1926 up here, up there, and it's 1,569,756 is the number on it. This diagram down here is a bit that makes what we want to talk about, so I'll show you that diagram in full. That's the expanded version of it there. They've got ground, the battery goes to ground, comes up to the ignition switch controlled by the dashboard key there, and it goes into the coil. High tension here to the rotor button, and the low side to the points. And as you can see, any voltage created in this system has to run around here through the battery, cook the battery, run around here up to the spark plug, to the other end of the coil, which is all very, very wrong. To go back to my TAFE college days, the school teacher said, a DC circuit is a battery, a switch, a light bulb for a torch, and as a DC current flows in one direction when you close the switch. An AC circuit, and there's a return. See this bit here? This is the return wire. And this is the nut of the video, the return wire. This is the AC style circuit. There's an AC supply coming off to a light bulb. And there is power there to a switch, to a light bulb. There might be a resistor in the circuit. But guess what? There's a return circuit, people. Here. There's a return circuit, which is not supplied in this coil. Let me show you. Oh, before I get off this page, you can't throw this into this circuit and say that neither of them interfere with the other. Clearly they would. The AC power supply wrapped across that would interfere with the internals of the battery, and the battery would interfere with everything else. And if the voltage on this is if this voltage is 20k volts and this is only 12 volts, I should think the battery would be cooked by the supply of 20k. So ultimately we're going to show you why you need this 4-point coil with its 2 ins and 2 outs, because it's going to look like that eventually. You need a 12 volts in, 12 volts in to the primary, out. And you got a wire here and a wire here for the high tension going off to 2 spark plugs. This spark plug and that spark plug. Going to the middle, to there, and the high tension side doesn't touch the 12 volt side. It never was supposed to. It never was supposed to. Go back to the kettering. The 12 volt and the high tension circuits are 2 separate circuits, only connected magnetically through the iron magnetic core. And this one also is only attached through the magnetic effect of the core. This coil is wired such. There's a primary, it's a primary there, and it's a high tension coil to there. These 2 wires, the blue wire and the black wire, join at the negative, and some coils they join at the positive. It has no bearing on the coil which one the joins on. This is not a polarity sensitive product, not like a battery or something. You got 2 wires joining at this point, and yet it has to go off through a capacitor and a switch called the points. So there's still more circuitry to ground. So this is not a common earth anymore, because there's still more circuitry after it. And this high tension voltage, 20k, feeds itself not only to the spark plug, but also the return side of it finds its way through the switching capacitor, and will find its way through the blue wire back through the battery. Any piece of metal connected to this end of the high tension to here will feed a high tension voltage everywhere through the car. Versus the kettering ignition system, where the 20k volts, if that was 20k volts, literally only travels along that wire and back again, and it never goes into the 12 volt system. But some idiot passed this one. This is Arthur Kent patent, where the diagram comes from in 1926. He's run this high tension voltage wire through the battery. So our project now is to convert your car to a better battery, to a better coil, by using this one. And this is what the circuit will look like. You will have your ground for your battery, the ignition switch. You'll have it going off to a primary in your the two inputs. Going out to ground. And this side is the high tension. You make 20,000 volts. Run that to ground as per the project. Run this to the spark plug. How do you draw a spark plug? Anyway, spark plug. Spark plug, and this side of your spark plug, or the body of it, is ground. Well, this is, and that's also the distributor in there. So you can see that the 12 volt line is completely separate from the high tension line, and there's no longer any high voltage getting into your switch, the coil, the battery, the rest of your car, your dashboard. And it also doesn't get into the points. Got to put the points in, don't I? That's the points. And the capacitor on that side. These volts aren't getting into the capacitor and the points. You're now turning off a simple little 12 volt current, and this condenser, which I was told in TAFE College, was to stop the points from burning because this was rushing so much. It wasn't rushing at all. This was the original return path for the high tension circuit. So I'll quickly draw what you had. If I were to quickly throw this one back into this page, it would simply look like this. Cross that off. This is ground. This is the coil. And this high tension voltage feeds back here to the negative, and the thing feeds it through there. How is that a circuit? Without both being contaminated by the other, especially a 12 kilovolt circuit running over this little, trying to be a 12 volt circuit. So good luck with the project. I know you're going to enjoy it. Cheers.